Iran rejected a call on Tuesday by 3 European countries asking them to refrain from any retaliatory attacks that would further escalate regional tensions. But Iran says that is a, quote, excessive request. The leaders of Britain, France, and Germany asked Iran and its allies to not retaliate for the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last month. Iran has blamed Israel for that death. Another development in all of this, a ship in the Red Sea came under attack at least 3 times this morning by suspected Yemen's Houthi rebels, which are sponsored by Iran. The world is now waiting and watching to see if and when Iran will retaliate, which could come this week. Any moment now, really. We do want to bring in Gabriel Noronha. He's a fellow at the Jewish Institute for National Security of America. He joins us now here on Live Now from Fox, of course, to discuss the latest on all of this. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so lots of developments in the past 24 to 48 hours with all of this. I guess in a nutshell, if you can, explain for our viewers what has gone on.
So Iran is basically trying to create conditions where it can get a PR victory if they attack Israel, and they can get a PR victory if they don't attack Israel. And one of the ways that they're doing this is by trying to claim that they're waiting for diplomacy to happen. They're waiting for Israel to get to the ceasefire table. If they do so, they say they'll hold off on attacking. And if Israel doesn't agree to talks, then they will attack. And so everything about that is shaping just to control that major event. But at the end of the day, Iran is also kind of just looking for a way out of having to attack Israel.
All right, but my question here being is, what is Iran really waiting for, though? I mean, this happened about 2 weeks ago where the Hamas leader was killed. So why are they waiting on this if this is going to happen? And if it did happen, what would the magnitude of this be?
So we've just gotten new statements from Tehran. 3 senior Iranian officials have said that if Israel agrees to ceasefire talks on Thursday, then they will hold off. Now, Hamas's leaders have said at the same time that they're not really willing to go to these talks unless Israel puts a unilateral ceasefire in Gaza. Now, Iran faces this conundrum. Back in April, they attacked Israel with over 300 ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and suicide drones, and only 1% of them actually made it through to Israeli territory. If they try something like that again and they fail, they are going to lose a lot of face here, and they're going to lose any credibility that they had that they can actually impose costs on Israel.
And going off of the ceasefire talks, as you just said, the latest here from the State Department yesterday was that they said they expect these peace talks to move forward as planned there. And they say that a deal still remains possible, even though Hamas has said that there was some doubt whether they would attend that call with mediators this coming Thursday. Would an Iran retaliation throw a wrench into this whole ceasefire talk there?
Well, hope seems to spring eternal from the State Department, but their track record of actually leading the conditions to lead to successful outcomes is pretty terrible. Again, there's this message that they really want diplomacy to work so they can get hostages out. They are using that to kind of force Israel into backing down time and time and time again. So I don't think this is a good faith statement from the State Department. The Sinwar, who's the leader of Hamas, that basically said, no, he's not doing it. And so I think what the key takeaway here is that these deals aren't going to go through. Every side is looking for a way to get out of the talks and to use it to leverage it to its own advantage.
I want to ask you what and if message the United States is trying to send here, because the USS Abraham was told to sail more quickly to the region. And now this other news here that the United States also sending a guided nuclear power submarine armed with missiles. What message is the U.S. trying to send here? And why wouldn't the Iranians back down, so to speak, after seeing what the U.S. is doing here, trying to put all these security measures into place?
So, on one hand, this is a really good thing. We're putting 2 aircraft carriers in the region. We have a nuclear submarine that's designed to send a message to Iran that if you overreact, there are consequences. Now, the aircraft carriers are also able to intercept some of these missiles and drones that might come on Israel's way. But the issue here is who's in our Oval Office, Joe Biden. And the Iranians don't really believe that any of these military assets would be used against them because there's been no signs throughout this presidency that he would actually do that. And so when you have that mismatch between the forces and then the track record, it kind of makes it worthless and useless to put all these ships in the region.
Now, you worked in the State Department. I guess if you could maybe share how much is really going on behind the scenes here that we are not able to know yet as American citizens.
You know, one of the things that's been very strange about this White House is how Jake Sullivan and his deputy Brett McGurk have basically taken all the diplomacy out of the State Department. They've put it in their secret offices, and they're doing a lot of secret talks across the region. Normally, you know, quiet diplomacy is a good thing, but in their case, they often make secret concessions and secret deals that they refuse to make public. So we don't know what we're giving up in order to buy temporary peace in this region. Again, that's sort of the constant theme with this administration is they'll make concessions left and right to avert the next attack, but they are setting the conditions for an all-out war that I'm afraid that we're quite close to.
Right. And it is going to be something that we are all just waiting and anticipating here for if that retaliation does happen. Is there anything else that you would like to add to the conversation that you think I may not have asked you?
Well, I think one thing that we should all be very concerned about is how Iran's nuclear program is advancing. Still to this day, they are very, very close. And we are holding Israel back from doing the necessary things it needs to do to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. And if we fail deterring Iran today on these, you know, relatively small attacks, that could pave the way for Iran to decide today is the day to get a nuclear weapon. That's what I fear a lot.
All right. Very good insight there. Thank you so much, Gabriel, for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks for having me.